everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Interstellar Modeler. In this video, what I'm going to do is detail the construction of this section of the Moonbase Alpha model. This, of course, is Main Mission. This is a replica of the main control center that's seen in Space 1999. And in the older kit, there used to be actually a section on this base here to place that miniature in, but as you can see in this picture here on the side of the box, there no longer is a section for that. I suppose they had to do that in order to accommodate those extra landing pads there. Now, as I mentioned in the previous video, I don't have the room to accommodate this entire model, so what I'm going to do right now is just concentrate on building Main Mission. And the control center itself doesn't really look any different from what I remember the older kit, because I have built this model before. It's been a long time and I no longer own the previous version, but basically it looks the same, with the exception of these nice new decals that they've added. They've added more accurate decals for the computer banks here. In fact, I don't believe the older one had any decals at all for those. And of course some nice decals for the Main Mission viewing screen and these front computers that you see there. So moving over here to the Workbench, I have the parts laid out here, and I've already painted all of these major parts now, and what I did was paint the walls essentially white. Now the model actually comes molded in white plastic, but of course it looks much more finished if you paint it. And so that's what I did here. I used basically flat white for the walls, and there's really not much color to this section of Moonbase Alpha. In fact, most of Moonbase Alpha didn't really have much color. It's usually just white and grays. So that's what we have here, are white for the walls and the ceiling sections here. And for the floor, I used Tester's light aircraft gray. And let me show you some slides I found of the actual studio set. And you can see here that the floor is a light gray color, and of course the walls are white, and the desks are a dark gray. And you can see here that I've painted those dark gray as well. And this is the Commander Koenig's desk here. So what I have left to do here is to paint the sides a silver color, and I'm going to leave the top part of it gray. So the instructions suggest placing the decals into position first, and that makes sense because the model is fairly small. So I'm going to go ahead and proceed with that, and I'll show you when that's done. And it's too bad this little section isn't a little bit bigger, because I would attempt to light it, but it is a fairly small miniature here, so I'm not going to bother with that. Alright, so let me go ahead and move on to that step, and I will show you my progress. Alright, so here we have the decals now that are in place. We have the Main Mission viewer along with the computer console that sits underneath it. We have the decals here for the computer banks, which I'm so happy they've included in this release. I mean, all the decals here for these sections are great. I think they add a nice touch to the model. And we have decals for the desks, which of course are the control consoles here. And we have decals for Commander Koenig's desk here. And then we have the figures that we have to work with. These are fairly small, so it's a matter of just assigning a color to a sleeve here. I mean, it's just as the instructions indicate. There's black and red and purple, you know, all indicate different departments. And so I did that, and I used tan as well as brown for the flesh tones. And then of course I tried to vary the hair color. But they are fairly small, so you do need a steady hand and a fine brush to work with them. Alright, so the next step really is just to assemble the rest of this together. I've already started on the spiral staircase that you see there. And then we'll begin to put the walls together and add the rest of these features like the chairs and so forth. And so I will show you when everything is completed. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to show you in steps here. This, first of all, is Commander Koenig's office. Alright, there we have Dr. Russell walking in on the scene here. We now have the computer banks installed, and we have the rest of the personnel and desks in place as well. Alright, so I've added the upper balcony. You can see the spiral staircase there at the corner, and I've also added Dr. Bergman there. He's standing right next to Dr. Russell. There's Commander Koenig, and I've added a couple other people here, and there's a security guy coming in on that side. Alright, so what's next now is the wall that contains the main viewer, and then this adjoining wall on this side. and then I will work on the ceiling. Alright everyone, and here now we have the completed main mission. This is of course the kit that comes with the Moonbase Alpha model, and this measures about 6 inches all around here, and again represents the control center as seen in the first season of Space 1999. Alright, we can see now that the ceiling pieces here are in place. I'm going to go ahead and remove them and show you the interior one last time. So you can see now with the final wall in place, the model is complete. Overall, I think this makes a decent miniature of the set. There are some inaccuracies, of course. The spiral staircase is one. The original studio set did not have a spiral staircase. And of course, the commander's office is much longer. But even with those deficiencies, I think it's a pretty decent replica here. So let me just give you one more shot here of those decals that have been included now to represent the computer banks there. And one last shot here of Commander there. Alright, so let me just do a quick review here. For accuracy, I would give it a 3 because there are definitely some deficiencies. For ease of assembly, I'd give it a 4. It's pretty straightforward to put together. For likability, I'd give it a 4 because I actually like this kit. There's a little nostalgia here for me, so I used to watch a show when I was a kid, so that adds to the likability factor for me here. And for affordability, I'd give it a single $sign because it was fairly inexpensive. The Moonbase Alpha kit comes in under $35. That's a pretty good value for what you get. Alright, so hopefully you've enjoyed this video of the building of this main mission command center. If you have any questions, of course, feel free to contact me on my YouTube channel. As usual, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.